Today on OC News, we have the latest opinions on the presidential primaries from the Fullerton community,
a recap of a track and field fundraiser to support our student athletes,
and news on a rare bird that made its way to Vegas.
OC News starts now.
This just in. Now in tech news, the first responder on police.
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts.
I feel blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the broadcast journalism students
at Cal State Fullerton. OC News starts right now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to OC News. I'm Skylar Scott.
And I'm Mason Awadallah. We've got lots for you today, so thanks for tuning in.
Both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump won the California primaries yesterday. Reporter Isaiah Malari has more details along with the results.
The Associated Press announced a race call as, unsurprisingly, both President Biden and former President Trump won the state of California at yesterday's primaries, continuing both their winning streaks. California's Senate race is also determined, as Democrat Adam Schiff and Republican Steve Garvey advanced to the ballot in November after beating Representatives Katie Porter and Barbara Lee. Voters across OC took to the ballots, but some felt frustration over the election's candidates for 2024. I'm here at the Alumni House here in Fullerton. It's become one of the many voting centers here in OC where residents can vote in the California primaries. As voters across the state prepare for the results of the election, some gave their opinions on Super Tuesday.
I don't know. It wasn't really an eventful voting process this time around. There was only one proposition, so I don't know. It was pretty uneventful for me, honestly. But I don't know. I still think it's important that everyone votes and stuff.
One professor on campus who voted emphasized the importance of voting.
Because I understand that a lot of people, including my daughter, feel like it's all pointless, but it's not, and so I encourage my classes to vote.
So even for some students, voting is an important aspect of daily life, even if they don't like the candidates. I'm Isaiah Malari, reporting from Fullerton for OC News.
For the general election in November, the U.S. Senate race in California is set. Democratic Representative Adam Schiff and Republican former baseball player Steve Garvey are the two candidates who will advance to compete to fill the seat of the late Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein. Garvey beat the Democratic Congresswoman Katie Porter and Barbara Lee, while Garvey celebrated with his supporters in Palm Desert, his hometown. As expected, the state will be without a female senator for the first time in more than 3 decades.
The FAFSA application is different this year. Let's hear more with our reporter, Amy Ariano.
The FAFSA application has changed this year, leaving many students asking questions and noticing the differences.
So some of the financial aid workshops that are upcoming, as you can maybe see here, are the March workshops, and there's one more in April, but again, keep in mind the deadline, so you do want to attend a workshop prior to April 2nd, and these are all available in the financial aid office.
The updated FAFSA will have fewer questions for applicants to answer, taking the applicants less time to complete. Contributor is also a new term added. It refers to anyone who's asked to provide their information.
March 2nd has passed, and students are worried that they missed the deadline for the application for FAFSA. According to the website, April 2nd is a new extended deadline. Let's see what students have to say about the new application.
I think it took more time, especially since it's FAFSA. I did not want to make any mistakes, so I was really trying to be more careful, which was a little harder to do since there wasn't much directions as well to follow.
Easier, but I feel like I had less opportunities to actually put in info, and I feel like with the new changes, I'm not going to get any money.
Pell Grant eligibility is now going to expand for more students. 1.5 million more students will now be eligible to receive a max Pell Grant.
Thanks, Amy. Sounds like there were a lot of changes this year. It's a good thing the deadline got extended. I still have time to apply.
So you're telling me I didn't have to rush my application in a day?
I guess not. Don't skip out on your free money.
And don't skip out on us. We have more for you after the break.
question about.
Welcome back. Tax season is here, and by now, you probably have your W-2 forms piling up. But if you earn a low or moderate income, there is help available, and it's free. Reporter Cindy Salmaron has all the details.
Tax time can be stressful and expensive for students. That's why Gansi is among the first this year to use VITA, a volunteer income tax assistance program sponsored by the IRS.
Because it's a free service here at CSUF.
Where students of CSUF volunteer to help members of the community and other students file their taxes.
So we usually cater to people who make under $64,000 or less.
For international student Sadar Bardi, this is the second year he has used the service.
And the overall experience was really great. I had all of my questions answered.
According to volunteers, this year the turnout has increased. Last week, they prepared 63 tax returns.
The program has grown. There's a lot more people here that are coming to use the resources that we have to get their taxes filed for free.
Yeah, this process is going to take different amount of time depending on the time of the day they come. For example, if they come early in the morning, it's going to take the process 2 to 3 hours.
If you plan to stop by the site, here is what you need to bring to file your taxes. Photo identification, Social Security card or individual taxpayer identification number, WS 1099, and all other income-related documents for 2023, all 1098 T and E forms for educational expenses, account and routing number if you want your refund to be direct deposited, and a copy of your last year's tax return. The site will be open every Saturday from 9 to 5, but during the last 4 weeks of the tax season, they will be open on Fridays, only for CSUF students. For OC News, I'm Cindy Salmeron.
We've got lots of action this week going on in the sports world. Here's Raven Esparza with the latest news.
Thanks, Skylar. This past week has been filled with many glorious moments, including a couple of milestones. And it all starts off with women's college basketball. The Hawkeyes take on the number 2 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes, and not only was this an important game for Iowa, but for college prodigy Caitlin Clark, as she set the record for the most points scored for both men's and women's college basketball, surpassing the great Hall of Fame shooting guard Pete Maravich, who accomplished this achievement in 1970 at Louisiana State University. Let's take a look at that basketball.
For college basketball history. She does it with a foul shot. Caitlin Clark becomes the all-time leading scorer.
Now, 10 players have played 20 or more seasons in the NBA. Only one has accomplished 40,000 points, and that man is LeBron James. The Lakers hosted the Denver Nuggets at Crypto Arena, which would be a career night for LeBron James as he spins to his left and finishes with the left-hand layup to reach the throne of 40,000 points. But the Nuggets had other plans, as they upset the Lakers 124-114, which wouldn't be LeBron's first rodeo in losing a milestone game, dating back to last year on February 7th when he became the career-leading scorer for the NBA. The Lakers would go on to lose 133-130 against OKC, but despite the losses, it sure is an extraordinary achievement for the future Hall of Famer. Dartmouth's college basketball team becomes the first team to vote in favor of forming a labor union for the NCAA, which goes against the deteriorating amateur business model the NCAA originated. The players voted 13-2 to join the Service Employees International Union Local 560. In an election supervised by the National Labor Relations Board, Dartmouth Juniors Cade Haskins and Romeo Myrtle stated, "We stuck together all season and won this election. It is self-evident that we, as students, can also be both campus workers and union members. It's the time and age for amateurism to end. Can we expect more colleges to be influenced by this vote? I guess we'll have to find out." And that's a wrap for sports today. I'm Raven Esparza, sending it back to Mason and Skylar in the studio.
This past Saturday, Cal State Fullerton's track and field program held their annual Sprint into Spring fundraiser. Kyle Hankins gives us some insight on the importance of the event.
It's that time of the year, everyone. On Saturday, Cal State Fullerton's outdoor track and field team held their annual Sprint into Spring fundraiser at the Fullerton Arboretum.
Fundraisers are always super special for us because we get to gather all the alum and everybody who supports our program. Put them in one place, and then they get to hear about all the cool things that they're donating towards, and how we're representing the program now.
This fundraiser was a great way for students, fans, and families to meet the players and coaches as they get ready for the season.
These events are very special to us. We don't get a ton of funding, even though we're Division I program, so we raise a lot of the money ourselves. I know cross country, when they did their fundraiser, they raised over $40,000. Last year, they raised over $75,000, which then carried over to the track and field program. So it was our responsibility. It was our turn to raise that money up, and this wouldn't be possible without all the alumni coming to support, all the parents, and even other athletes helping to contribute whatever little money they can to help us and see us succeed during the season.
This fundraiser held 2 live auctions selling a trip with the team to the conference championships at Cal Poly that sold for $900 and a 3-night stay at Coach Marcus's Black Diamond Getaway in Big Bear that sold for $1,800, alongside multiple silent auctions that included a signed Kansas City Chiefs Trent McDuffie jersey, a Callaway staff bag, a Shohei Ohtani signed Angels jersey, and many other items.
We've been constantly training since August, and the off-season was a hard grind, so now that the off-season's over and we're transferring into our actual season, I think our whole team's ready to go, and we're going to win this championship.
One of the greatest aspects are the coaches themselves and also the location. I'm from Colorado, so I think it's really beautiful here. I love the location a lot, and I think the coaches also care a lot. I transferred from another school, and when I heard about the coaches and the passion they put into the team here, I was like, yeah, this is where I want to go. This seems like a place I want to be.
By the end of the night, the fundraiser had raised over $11,000 for the Cal State Fullerton's track and field team.
Everyone, make sure to run down to the tracks on March 8th and 9th to support our Titans. I'm Kyle Hankins, reporting for OC News.
Go Sprint to donate to the track and field team or any student organization of your choosing.
Speaking of, today is the perfect day to donate as it's Titans Day of Giving.
You've got 24 hours to make a difference.
But you've only got a few more minutes with us. Stay tuned.
You'll be the first, Mia.
I got in. Dad, I got in!
You should know this one. Who knows it?
So how's it going in school?
Finish those before you go.
That seeks to develop mutually beneficial relationships with all of our audience.
Hey, do you know what this word means? Empowerment? Authority or power given to someone to do something. EMPOWERMENT. Empowerment.
Welcome back to OC News. I recently had the chance to gather information on the implementation of feminine hygiene products. California State University Fullerton is now in accordance with California AB 367, a law approved in October 2021, which requires public schools to provide easily accessible and free menstrual products. An email sent out January 30th by the Dean of Students informed its recipients of this new change. The email included a list of all buildings that will incorporate this new feature, some of which include the Education Classroom, McCarthy Hall, Mahalo Hall, the Humanities and Social Sciences Building, and the TSU. While gathering information, I spoke with Melina Arias, a custodian at Fullerton. She said that it's one of her tasks to restock the menstrual supplies as well, and finds herself filling them regularly. The overall feeling towards this initiative is great. Here's what someone had to say.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, especially if it's like something unexpected and it's not planned for, and it's nice to have something as a backup.
The addition of free menstrual products is more than terrific news. The easy and cost-effective option is great for those on the go or in need. However, what about the students at College Park? Why, you may ask? Because the College of Communications building behind me does not offer this same program. The students that belong in the College of Communications do not have access to this. In an attempt to schedule an interview regarding the lack of products in the Communications building, I received an email informing me of the many media requests on this topic. I was redirected to a statement from Capital Programs and Facilities Management, which was similar to the original email sent on January 30th. We are hopeful that eventually this program will be added to the school right behind me. This is Skylar Scott for OC News. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, Skylar, that's great to know. Next up, we send it over to our entertainment anchor, Barbie, Amy Ariano, who has the latest in the entertainment world.
Hello everyone, I'm Amy Ariano, and I'll be bringing you some news in the entertainment world. We are in the lovely month of March, and that means it's Women's History Month. Women being celebrated in so many different ways, like maybe being made as a Barbie. Barbie's 65th anniversary is coming up, and they're releasing a new batch of model toys, which include Kylie Minogue, Viola Davis, Helen Mirren, and Shania Twain. This was launched in 2018, called the Barbie Dream Gap Project, to undo the biases that hold girls back from reaching their full potential, said Mattel. Helen Mirren narrated Greta Gerwig's Barbie movie, as she says, "To be chosen by Barbie as a role model is a huge compliment and something I would never have imagined in my wildest dreams happening to me at this stage in my life." I want to have my own Barbie. But speaking of real-life Barbies, Miss Taylor Swift encourages her fans to vote on Super Tuesday. Taylor Swift, huge superstar, as we all know her, posted on her Instagram on Tuesday, "Today, March 5th, is the presidential primary in Tennessee and 16 other states and territories. I want to remind you guys to vote the people who most represent you into power." Swift, in past years, has had many posts about voter participation and registration as well. While we're on the topic of Taylor Swift, her Disney Plus film is set to release earlier than expected. Taylor Swift The Eras Tour, Taylor's version, will be available to stream on March 14th at 6 p.m. This will show the concert in its entirety for the first time with 4 additional acoustic songs not every fan got to hear at the concert. I'm so ready to relive the concert from the comfort of my own home. Now, all of my news today seems to be connecting. Let's connect one more dot. Speaking of Disney, Disneyland just hosted the very first Disney Channel night. Disneyland invites all who got tickets to experience a night of iconic Disney Channel TV shows, songs, and characters throughout the park. There were so many photo opportunities, special themed foods, special characters, dance parties, karaoke, and trivia all throughout the night. With this special ticket, guests were allowed to enter the park starting at 6 p.m. until the event ended at 1 a.m. A very fun experience to enjoy with friends and relive your childhood. That's all from me in the entertainment world. I'm Amy Ariano. Back to you, girls.
We're halfway into the semester, and it is picking up some steam. Our reporter, Kimmy Garcia, took a dive into how students are maintaining their grades and mental health.
In a whirlwind of extracurricular activities, assignments, exams, and everyday life, let's see what coping mechanisms students do to maintain a grade throughout the semester. Let's dive in.
But what helps me is just kind of taking a little bit of a break every so often whenever I can, making sure I get enough food, water. I think that's really important. And then practicing mindfulness, I think. We also have CAPS here too, so that's kind of what I use to help with like de-stressing.
I have 3 classes, which is the most I've ever taken at a CSU, and my plan is to go to the Titan Well and go take a meditation time, or maybe hit up the quad, or find somewhere, put a blanket down, and do some meditation, and hope for the best.
In lectures and study sessions, students are showing an unmatched commitment to their studies this semester. From early mornings to late nights, they are hitting the books, attending classes, and studying hard. What's really standing out this semester is how students are handling tough times with deadlines and exams looming. They are not giving up. Instead, they are finding smart ways to stay on top of things, like forming study groups and using digital tools to work together. They are not forgetting about themselves either. With high stress levels, they are taking care of their mental health and their well-being. Students are doing a great job this semester at Cal State Fullerton. And there you have it, Cal State Fullerton students, the coping mechanisms and strategies students are using to maintain a good grade throughout the semester. With that being said, I'm Kimmy Garcia, and this is OC News.
Yesterday, the fountains at the Bellagio paused their show because of an unexpected guest. The exclusive guest forced the hotel to shut off the fountains. The yellow-billed loon, which is considered to be one of the rarest birds in the country, was spotted in the fountains. Biologists captured and relocated the bird to a suitable and remote location. The bird had no apparent injuries and appeared to be in good health.
I guess what they say isn't true. What happens in Vegas doesn't really stay in Vegas.
Instead, it made its way to OC News. I guess the bird couldn't find its room.
Thank you for finding OC News. I'm Skylar Scott.
And I'm Mason Awadallah. Stay tuned for our next show in just a few minutes, and check us out on our YouTube channel and social media.